Planting a church is one of the hardest things to do under the sun. The work is hard, the stakes are high, and the spiritual forces of darkness will oppose you. Jesus promised that the gates of the hell would not prevail against us, but he didn't promise us it would be easy. You can have the right planter with a clear calling, the right community to plant in with the right team, and all the money that they need, and still not be successful. It is the most significant thing that the church planter has ever done, and most who plant have no prior experience. Fortunately, systems of planter support have developed over the years. Most church planting networks provide some support. At Passion for Planting, that's all we do. Having helped hundreds of churches, we've identified 4 main categories of planter support that go beyond what a family of churches or a network can provide relationally. These require more specialized experience and can be contracted. We call them the 4 legs of the stool because they work together to support the church planters. And if any one of them gets cut off, there will be problems like planting an unhealthy church, having an unhealthy planter, setting an unrealistic budget, and launching worship gatherings unprepared. Again, most networks are implementing some combination of these. We think that all special expertise support like this falls into one of these 4 categories. In this video, we're going to give you a flyover of the 4 legs. A church planter needs to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they are called to planting and that they have what it takes. When the hard days come, and they will come, planters will be tempted to question their adequacy and even their calling. They'll need something to carry them through. We can help stack this deck in their favor with the church planter assessment process. An assessment offers a comprehensive evaluation of the planter's readiness. This includes assessing their personal gifting, leadership traits, life experience, and planter health, both mental, marital, and spiritual. It provides both quantitative data and qualitative insights, involving tools like personality inventories and clinical evaluations that include the spouse. This helps planter clarify their calling and their readiness, ensuring that those who are sent out are genuinely equipped for the journey. Through the assessment process, some will have their calling to plant affirmed, and some will discover that they are more likely to thrive in an established church. Those who are affirmed will discover what is missing in their preparedness and receive actionable recommendations. For those who plant, being affirmed to plant through a church planter assessment event is a stake in the ground, a line in the sand. In the following months and years, they will be able to look back with confidence and rest in what they heard from the assessment team. They can refute the lies of the enemy by recalling that wise and godly counsel affirmed that they are called and that they do have what it takes. Planters will face unexpected challenges. How will you know that they're equipped to handle them? Sending out an unassessed church planter can lead to serious consequences. We've seen this lead to strained marriages, stunted team growth, lack of conversions, and even the rapid closure of the new church. This not only affects the church planter, but can negatively impact the target community and even the reputation of the sending church. We want all of our church planters to thrive, which begins with knowing that they're called and ready. A healthy planter doesn't guarantee a healthy church plant, but an unhealthy planter will usually lead to an unhealthy outcome. Even though we may decide through an assessment that a church planter is personally ready to begin the church planting journey, most have never planted before. Most have never even done anything on this scale before. They don't have the breadth of training or knowledge to tackle such a massive project. They start with vision and passion, but may lack experience in key areas like fundraising, creating culture, or community engagement. They might be great at inspiring people, but may not know how to build sustainable structures or navigate the logistical side of planting a church. These gaps can lead to feelings of overwhelm when they're faced with tasks they've never encountered before. Ideally, church planters will fill this gap through a church planting residency or equivalent hands-on experience. A well-rounded residency will include both important church planting content and space for them to practice what they're learning in real-world ministry settings. There are a growing number of distance residency programs that make it easy for a congregation to put their local leader through a residency without having to fully create their own. For example, Passion for Planting's distance residency program provides a rigorous college-level curriculum filled with practical lessons. Over 9 months, residents get exposed to over 30 different presenters who share insights and perspectives from various angles of church planting. But we also require residents to plug into a local congregation and get hands-on experience. A residency should be not only academic, it needs to put their learning into practice. When church planters come out of a well-rounded residency, they're not just more knowledgeable, they're practiced and confident. They know what to expect and have the skills to adapt when the unexpected happens. Sometimes an extensive residency won't work for a planter based on timelines or other factors. In those cases, there should be a shorter-term training option like a church planter boot camp. A boot camp should cover church planting fundamentals and point planters to where they can turn for help with more complex topics. Without church planter training, the planter is more likely to struggle with unforeseen challenges, leading to ineffective leadership, poor team cohesion, diminished impact, and potential failure. The pressure of wearing too many hats without the skills to manage them can quickly lead to overwhelm or stagnation. Even with all the knowledge and skills a planter gains during a residency or boot camp, launching a new church involves managing seemingly endless entailed tasks and details over many months. From securing nonprofit status to coordinating events, each step must be done in the right order and on time. The sheer volume of the tasks in starting a new church is overwhelming for most church planters. It's similar to building a house. There are hundreds of tasks that need to be completed in the right order over months, and every step costs time, and the whole thing can cost several $100,000. You want that house, or in this case, the new church, to be ready for the long haul with everything running and smoothly from day one. Add to that the fact that your typical church planter is a visionary leader and a people person, not a detail-oriented checklist type. So there's often an organization and execution gap in a church planting project. It's not only about short-term ministry. The church plant needs to be set up for long-term sustainability. Here's where project management in church planting comes in. An experienced and skilled church planting leader comes alongside your church planter and serves as a project manager. This is like having a fractional executive pastor. They help define the required tasks to implement the planter's vision. They help organize those tasks into a comprehensive, integrated plan, including budget requirements and schedule dates. They also facilitate project reports to help stakeholders maintain accountability. This kind of support keeps planters in their sweet spot, building relationships, casting vision, and leading people to Christ. When you hire a contractor to build your home, his end game is an occupancy permit. Someone from the county comes out to inspect that everything is working properly before a family is allowed to move in. But in church planting, without a project manager, all of the church's systems are less likely to be ready for occupancy. We typically just move into the house or launch the church anyway. The project manager ensures a healthy foundation and systems are in place when worship gatherings launch. This typically results in more people being reached at a higher quality and lower cost. Church planters need ongoing support to stay motivated, focused, and aligned with their vision. Planting a church is not a short-term project. It's a long-term commitment that requires adaptive leadership, consistent encouragement, and strategic thinking. Too many planters initially have the drive and vision to start strong, but have to figure out for themselves how to maintain momentum and overcome obstacles as they arise. Without someone to help them think strategically and hold them accountable, it's so easy to lose sight of goals or become discouraged when challenges mount. Planter coaching fills that gap by creating a supportive partnership that helps planters maximize their potential. A coach is there to challenge their thinking, provide perspective, and guide them through the process of clarifying and aligning their vision with reality. This kind of coaching helps planters grow as a leader and maintain focus on their mission, adapting as needed to changing circumstances. Without coaching, planters can become isolated and overwhelmed. They may start to doubt their vision, make avoidable mistakes, or stall in their progress. This can lead to diminished enthusiasm, ineffective leadership, and increased risks of progress paralysis. The planter's personal and professional development may stagnate, impacting the growth and health of the church that they're trying to establish. Church planting really is hard. It involves a lot of work and spiritual warfare. It requires a lot of support to see the planter through. It may be overwhelming to consider how a church planting church could provide all of this support. A plant needs these 4 things, but church planting churches don't have to create them all from scratch. Today, an ecosystem or industry of specialized services exists to provide expert support for planters at every stage. Passion for Planting was born out of this very need over 20 years ago, when New Life Christian Church recognized that too many planters were bogged down by details, losing precious time that could be spent connecting in their communities. Since those early days of pioneering project management, we've grown to offer all 4 legs of the stool and have used them to help plant hundreds of churches across the country. Find or create these 4 legs of the stool for your church planters. They're going to need it.